So in last episode, we took a bunch of territory and completely wiped out the bandits. This brings our total amount of horse pastures to 4, and that gives us a negative 80% recruitment cost and upkeep cost for cavalry faction-wide. In 4 turns, we're also picking up this reform, hierarchical enfofaments, which is going to lower our upkeep cost by another 10%. That's going to lower our upkeep cost by 90%, and at this point, we're pretty much getting free units. For a while now, we've kind of just been steamrolling the map with little to no opposition, and our territory is the green. If we look at the attitude map, red and orange means they do not like us, and we're going to start this episode by attacking Kong Rong, who does not like us right now. Kong Rong only has 1 army here with this small city, and we're going to attack it with 5. We could attack it with Guosi too, but I'm just going to leave him out here and set up an ambush just in case Shen Yu decides to maybe come in here and try to fight a night battle on us, but I don't think she'd be that dumb. Also, I don't think we can even get Guosi in here. I think we can only get 5 armies in here. They have 2,600 units, but we have around 2,400 cavalry, and that's just going to steamroll over whatever they got, so we're going to delegate this. We ended up losing 451 units, a lot of cavalry, but that's okay. We got plenty more where that came from. The next turn, we lost the city of Shangdang to Zhang Wen, an army belonging to Liu Bian, and this is kind of weird because Liu Bian is not at war with us. On the contrary, he in fact really likes us, and he will actually marry over Liu Zi to us for 5 points. He's giving us 5 trade points, meaning he does not want Liu Zi in his faction. I don't quite understand this. He also apparently is willing to depart with a large sum of money. We can take almost all of his money for 22 trade points, and if we coerce him, he will take this deal. Dude's broke now and we just got 9k. I don't even know what we're gonna do with that. This next turn, we were able to surround Kong Rong's small regional city with 5 armies, not including Dong Zhuo, and they only have 2 armies here on top of the small regional city's garrison, and I don't think that's gonna be enough to stop us. Yep, it's not. They have around 3,700 units and we only have 1,800, but the battle predictor does predict a close victory simply for the fact that our units are just better. Well, I'd say a lot better, and though part of me does really want to fight this one on the field, I don't really see a purpose if we can just delegate it. Yeah, we're going to take more casualties, but we're going to heal up anyways, and we don't have any other enemies that are really all that close nearby. Surprisingly, we only ended up losing 500 there, and we got 2k for winning the battle. We captured 4 of their generals too, and I'm just going to try to release them all. I think since we release them, Kong Rong will be able to redeploy them on the battlefield, but where's he going to put them? Like Donglai's small regional city, I guess. I didn't realize he had another small regional city. I still feel like he's not going to have enough time to mount any type of retaliation force, and we're just going to steamroll through the rest of his territory. After taking a small regional city, we're going to move on to the large city of Beihai, and he's only got 1 wounded army there. There's no chance they're going to be able to hold up against our 1,800 units worth at 1,300. We're just going to delegate this. Yeah, we won that with only losing 100 units. It's looking like in the same exact turn, we can also take out Taishan's trade port as well. We're going to send 4 armies into it, and that's going to be a bit overkill. Well, they did have almost 2,200 units, but we had 2,300 pretty solid units, and we only ended up losing 265. This next turn, we finally got the reform hierarchical enfofaments, and we were losing 353 per turn. With this reform though, we're now almost gaining 2k per turn. And like, for example, Niu Fu's army's not full, so we're going to drop in Guo Jia, and we're going to give him some medium bow cavalry, which are going to cost us 15 per turn only. Well, maybe we should actually hold off on those until we take out Beihai's livestock farm. This should not be too hard to take out.
No effort will achieve this.
No effort will achieve this. I think we will be able to achieve this. 6 armies attacking into 1 very wounded army. 2,100 units got completely mowed down there. We only lost 100 units. A new contender emerges. Our rise to power will not be welcomed at all. Liu Bian will surely look upon our rising fortress as a great affront. We must now walk separate paths. They may one day cross again, but unfortunately we will be adversaries. Yet there are still those that we can call great friends. We need not walk this path alone. If we break from the empire, our allies will be all of these people, even though like some of these people don't really like us that much, I don't think. Your power increases. King, all will bow to your authority. They must. By your continued success, China is brought to ever greater stability. By claiming the title of king as your right, you have tightened your resolve against the insurgents that challenge the country's peace. We now are gaining 9k per turn. What? You have declared yourself emperor. Now it is time to prove it and lead China out of chaos. Challenger for the throne, Shi Zi. Another warlord has declared themselves emperor. Is it the will of heaven, or are they a traitorous dog to be put to the axe? And actually, with 2 extra trade deals, we're now gaining 11k per turn. I'm not sure where all that money is coming from. We now have the rank of king, and we took one of the emperor seats. Liu Biu has one at Luoyang, and Shi Zi has one at Hipu. Apparently the victory condition is we unite China by bringing all emperor seats under your control and owning 95 counties. And so I guess our goal after wiping out Kong Rong is going to be to go for the emperor seat at Luoyang. Also, since we're now king, we have a ton of these minister spots open, and they're going to give us small bonuses, like Minister of Justice gives us +2 order faction wide. The main thing is, like, for example, Bishi is now level 7, and and he really wants a higher court position. Putting him as a minister is going to give him a lot more satisfaction, and I think he actually might be at 100 after this. Being an administrator is not good enough for Zhang Liao either. He wants a higher court position, and so we're going to make him the minister herald. That's going to give us a +5 diplomatic relations with all factions. And yeah, after doing that, Zhang Liao is actually at 100 satisfaction, even though he has a -50 faction grudge. We did end up giving him a bunch of promotions, and he's now the general of flying cavalry, and that gives him 35 satisfaction. But earlier on in the playthrough, I was thinking like, there's no way we're going to get Zhang Liao to be able to stay with us. And yeah, Bishi is now at 100 satisfaction as well. Most of our generals actually kind of are. We're not really having satisfaction problems anymore, and we're now at satisfaction high, so we get +4 military supplies and -10% corruption. From the reform we just picked up, we also unlocked these Jade Dragons, and they're costing 0 per turn. I guess it's just for Niufu's retinue because he's modest, so he gets -50% retinue upkeep. Or we can also give him these Imperial Lancer Cavalry, which I think unlocked because we're now the king. These don't have any range block, but they have way better evasion, way more attack rate, and way more charge. And they also have Imperial Solidarity, +10 morale, +10% melee evasion, +10 melee damage, armor piercing, and immune to terror. And that gives a buff to everyone that's in a 50-meter range. I don't think it stacks though. If it did, that would be a little bit broken. You'd only need 10 of them and everyone would have 100% evasion and no one could get hit. Vanguards, the red generals, tend to give their units more charge, so we're going to put the Lancers in their retinues. And the Jade Dragons have shields, so we're going to put them in our commander retinue because commanders usually have this buff nobility, which gives their units 20% more range block chance. That's going to make these Jade Dragons have 80% range block chance. There's only 20% chance they get hit by range attacks now. We replace the units in all of our armies with these superior units, and now we're going to march on Kong Rong's small regional city of Donglai. They only had 1,200 units there, and with our upgraded units, we only lost 156, which doesn't seem like that many because it is a small regional city and it's pretty hard to attack. We finished wiping out Kong Rong. There were no surprises there, but in the next few turns, a lot of factions turned on us. The main one that we're currently focused on is Liu Bei, and we're sending all of our armies towards his territory. At this point, I'm not sure how much of the rest of the game I'm going to show. We ended up finishing off Yuanshu's city, and like we're marching on Liu Bei's territory. We got 6 armies over here attacking his large city, and there's no one there to defend it, so we're going to take that for free. We were able to just delegate Shangdang back to us with just 3 armies, and by the way, I was thinking the reason why I think Liu Bei was able to just take that from us is because previously we were his empire subject, and so I think he can just like take territory from us if he wants to, and like maybe he paid us for it, I'm not really sure, but regardless, we are now about to take on our former emperor. We're going to be marching on his regional city, and I think we will fight this one on the field even if we completely outnumber him. And oh no, with just Dong Zhuo sieging, it says our forces are evenly matched. Advisors predicted close defeat with just 500 units. That's how strong these Imperial Lancer cavalry are. You can only imagine what's going to happen when we bring 5 more generals over here. Yeah, it says decisive victory. Like, do we fight this one on the field just for fun? We can't even attack with all the armies, by the way. We can only attack with 4. I think that might be the limit. We took them out and ended up losing 366 units. I don't know if that was better than what the delegated outcome would have been. And with that, we've captured the first emperor seat. I'm not exactly sure what that means. Liu Bei is no longer the emperor. This warlord has lost their imperial palace and rallies against perception that they are no longer emperor, claiming the other claimants are imposters. And it looks like their empire has dissolved, and I guess all these people have left Liu Bei's empire. Seizing the emperor, as you continue your approach to the capital, you spy a group moving towards you at high speed with a carriage in tow. The eunuchs had taken the young emperor hostage and are fleeing. Your men make quick work of the guards, and the emperor is left at your mercy. You realize that his younger brother would be a far more pliable emperor, and that with your army and the power you would gain, you could become the strongest force in the land. If we claim him, it may be seen as an act of treachery. However, the kingdom of Zhu, which I guess is us, confederates Liu Bei, and the emperor is now our puppet. Or we could just release him, and that's going to cost some intimidation, but I think we want to claim him.
Vengeance is fire. It starts low and small, but grows to a fury that engulfs the imposters and usurpers. Dong Zhuo's rage has burned away the lies and treason of the eunuchs. The weak and deceitful pretenders will be scattered like ash on the wind. There is no joy in punishment, only true justice. From the inferno of his wrath, Dong Zhuo will see China prosper once more, led by one with the strength and the conviction to rule.
we now have the option to issue ultimatum. The Yellow Turban Rebellion is actively waging war against our vassal, the Han Empire. As their new lord, we now have the duty of protection over them. As a peaceful faction to us, we should attempt to resolve this diplomatically. Should they reject our offer, we will be obliged to declare war. I guess our only option here is to mediate peace, and maybe the reason why this is because the Yellow Turban Rebellion did ask us for a peace agreement, I want to say like 5 turns ago, and we took it just because we want to minimize the amount of factions that we're at war with. We are currently at war with a lot of factions. We now have an option to mediate peace between the Kingdom of Jiuzhen and the Han Empire, our vassal. We're going to mediate peace again. We've now vassalized the Han Empire. The Han Empire is pretty huge, I think, at this point. Actually, never mind. The Han Empire is not that big. It's the light green, but they still have a fair bit amount of territory, and as our vassal, they're going to start paying us, I guess, 521 per turn, which isn't all that much for us. Our income as a whole did go up by quite a bit though, because if you look at all of our territory, you will notice that the green has expanded quite a bit. That's because after taking out Liu Bei's capital and confederating him, that essentially meant that he would give all his territory over to us and he would join us. He's now at our court, and we also have Empress He at our court. Looks like quite the beast, however, we can't put her on the field. She is a non-deployable character. Her only purpose, I guess, is
Me love you long time.
she gives +5 dynasty influence. I don't know exactly what that means. And her robes give +5 cover cost for enemy spies and +5 undercover network cost for enemy spies, and I guess that just makes it harder for enemy spies to actually do stuff. I don't know why the robes give her instinct. It gives melee damage and minus recruitment costs, but we can't even put her on the field. It just seems kind of weird. After becoming emperor, I noticed now it's a lot easier to make a vassal. We have 7 factions that could possibly become our vassals, starting with Liu Bei. He doesn't want to do it. It's going to cost 33 trade points. However, if we just do a bit of coercion and we give him over some items that we're not using, he will take this deal and he becomes our vassal. After doing this, I think we can now annex Liu Bei and he's going to join us, and it's going to make us very treacherous for 10 turns. -41 is really bad, and I think a lot of factions might declare war on us after that. But yeah, now if we look at the north side of the map, it's pretty much all green. And we now own Liu Bei, who's got his Shanggu Jians. Pretty decent swords. They don't do that much damage for being unique, but they give him a lot of stats. And then he's got his Liu Bei's armor, which gives -15% retinue upkeep, and we can give him a free retinue of units. They will not cost anything. I don't know what happened to his other generals that were on the field though, and what I'm thinking might have happened is they got destroyed because we're at the max amount of armies. And yep, I freaking knew it, dude. So we now got Zhang Fi's army, we got this girl over here, we got these 2 dudes, or this girl and this dude. And so yeah, that's definitely some kind of bug or something, because Zhang Fi just disappeared. Maybe he went to the candidates or some, I don't know what happened to him. But after going back, because thankfully the game did not autosave after doing that deal, taking some armies off the field and then annexing Liu Bei, we now got Zhang Fi, who's just amazing. He's got this serpent spear, which does an insane amount of damage. His armor is relatively decent. He gets fatigue immunity too, which is really nice. He'll never get tired, and it gives him a bunch of instinct. I'm not even going to go over all of his traits. They're all good though for the most part, although he is maimed, so he gets -4 expertise, -5% melee damage. Not a big deal. The main thing is that he has his own ability, Sundering Strike, which is really good for killing generals, as it lowers their melee evasion by 50%, does damage, and it has a 10-second duration, and the cooldown is only 30 seconds. Okay, so this makes absolutely no sense. So Cao Cao just took the 3rd seat from Shizi. Who cares? Like, it shouldn't really matter, right? Except it actually does matter, and now the Han Empire is not our vassal anymore. Why would Cao Cao taking over this seat make the Han Empire not our vassal? We still own 2 seats, and the main one I think was Liu Yang that made the Han Empire join us. That's got to be another bug, I would think. So our victory condition is we unite China by bringing all emperor seats under our control and owning 95 counties, and we currently own 102 counties. Now if we look at the map, the green is all us, and everyone else is pretty much at war with us, minus the Yellow Turban Rebellion and Lu Xianghu and the Han Empire. We made a blitz towards the emperor seat in the south, and I didn't really show much of it because there wasn't really much content, and we didn't really encounter any type of battle that I thought was worthy of showing, and we've been just completely mowing through everything. There's been very little resistance. We now find ourselves at what I believe to be the end, and we're going to be taking their large city. I'm surprised it's not upgraded to like a regional city at this point, as it is an emperor's seat. There are tons of regional cities on the map now. Regardless though, we got Liu Bei over here with his original generals, himself, Zhang Fi, and Zaihu Dun, and we're going to be attacking it with Dong Zhuo, Lu Bu, and Zun Yu. And we will not be fighting this one on the field. We are going to just delegate it because yeah, we only end up losing 264, and I think that's game over. We've captured the emperor's seat. We will occupy it.
To gain power, one must have land.
Destiny is wrought in steel and measured in blood. China cannot endure the chaos of rebellion forever. Strength unrelenting determines victory. And when the last traitor breathes no more, heaven demands that only one can prevail. The Empire, long divided, must unite beneath an emperor with celestial authority to rule, a dynasty to endure forever.
And there we go, we got the victory. I'm not gonna be capturing the entire map simply for the fact that I feel like there's no content. There's no battles that we're gonna fight that are gonna be difficult. We have way better units than anyone that we're running across. We also have 57k, we're getting 5.6k per turn, which we could actually increase that by a lot. Like if we just dump Zunyu's siege equipment, which he doesn't really need all of it, and like Guo Jia had a bunch of siege equipment, we're up to 8.6k per turn. Wait, this guy has 6 trebuchets too. If we dump all of our trebuchets, we're getting 10k per turn. Like there's just no difficulty here in terms of managing anything. And like basically what I've been doing is say like Liu Zun sends an army from Jianzia's regional city and tries to attack Runan's iron mine. I can just raise an army here. These 3 generals have no troops in their army, so I was able to put them on the field for free. And then I can just recruit a bunch of Imperial Lancer cavalry, which start at level 10 by the way. And this girl actually has ranged blocks, so I'd put Jade Dragons in her party. But essentially this army will replenish pretty much up to full next turn, and that's costing me a grand total of like, I guess 432 per turn for this army, which is insane. Here is the territory that we captured, and there is still a lot to capture, but I wouldn't end up showing any of it. The only thing I would show is our territory at the very end, because there's really no ability for the enemy to do anything. It's just way too easy to stop any type of invasion from any enemy that they send at us. We also have 87 generals, by the way, and I'm not even upgrading a lot of them at this point. We have like 15 upgrades, and at this point I don't even care. There's so many in the court as well, and we can deploy any of these that are in the court at any time. And so like if someone gets killed, it doesn't even matter because we just have another person to replace them. Anyways, that's it for Total War. If you guys do want to see some Total War content in the future, I'm probably not going to be doing a full map domination type of thing. Just right now I'm kind of burnt out, and the idea of having to go for another horse pasture run just does not sound very fun, I guess, for me or the viewer. Also, if any of you guys have ideas for the next video series that you want to see, then let me know in the comments section. And with that, I want to thank you all for watching. I will see you in the next one.